What is really inside a tube of oil paint that allows a color to remain intact for centuries? Behind every brushstroke we see in a classical work, there is a precise industrial process involving minerals, natural oils, extreme grinding, and meticulous quality controls. Oil paint is not born in the artist's studio, but in factories where chemistry and tradition combine to create a material capable of resisting the passage of time. We are going to discover how oil paint is made, from powdered pigment to the final tube. Oil paint is considered the most durable pictorial medium in the history of Western art. Works created hundreds of years ago still preserve a surprising chromatic intensity and visual richness. This longevity is not accidental. In a high-quality tube of oil paint, up to 75% of the content can be pure pigment, a proportion much higher than that of acrylic paints or other modern systems. This enormous concentration is responsible for the deep colors, high coverage, and characteristic saturation of oil paint. In fact, throughout history, some pigments became more valuable than gold. One of the best-known examples is ultramarine blue, originally obtained from lapis lazuli mined in Afghanistan. Its rarity and difficulty of processing made it for centuries a pigment reserved for religious commissions or figures of high status. Another extreme case was Tyrian purple, whose production required thousands of marine mollusks to obtain only a few grams of pigment. These examples show that oil paint is not only an artistic material, but also a combination of geology, chemistry, human labor, and history. The entire process begins with the preparation of the pigment, which constitutes the absolute basis of the final quality. Pigments can come from natural minerals, metallic compounds, or synthetic pigments developed in laboratories. However, the raw material is not immediately usable. The particles are usually too large, irregular, and may contain impurities. Therefore, the pigment first undergoes preliminary grinding that breaks down its initial structure. It is then carefully sifted to remove coarse particles and out-of-spec dust. After this initial conditioning, the pigment undergoes purity and light fastness tests. It is not enough for the color to be attractive. It must remain stable for decades or even centuries without degrading or losing intensity. Once approved, the pigment is completely dried to remove any trace of moisture. This step is essential, since the presence of water can cause clumps or unwanted chemical reactions when combined with the oil. At the same time, the oil that will act as a binder is prepared. Although several drying oils can be used, such as poppy, walnut, or safflower oil, linseed oil remains the most widely used due to its balance between durability, drying time, and long-term stability. The process begins with pressing flax seeds to obtain a crude oil, which is then filtered several times to remove solid residues. Once filtered, the oil is refined to reduce the content of free fatty acids, which helps minimize yellowing over time and improves the overall behavior of the paint. In some processes, the oil is subjected to controlled heating to modify its viscosity and optimize its drying properties. The final result is a clean, stable oil perfectly compatible with the pigment. When the pigment and oil are ready, the mixing stage begins. Each color has its own formula, so the components are weighed with extreme precision. First, the oil and liquid additives are introduced into a mixing tank, creating a stable wet base. Then, the pigment is added gradually. This method allows the powder to absorb the oil evenly, reduces the formation of clumps, and minimizes the dispersion of particles in the air. The objective of this phase is not to obtain the final paint, but a thick paste in which each pigment particle begins to be coated by the oil. Each pigment has a different absorption capacity. Very fine pigments with a large specific surface area require more oil, while denser or coarser particles need less. That is why there is no universal proportion valid for all colors, and each one presents a different texture and behavior. During this initial mixing, low-speed agitators are used, normally between 20 and 60 revolutions per minute, to avoid excessive incorporation of air. Each batch may require between 15 and 40 minutes just to reach a homogeneous preliminary paste. At this stage, small adjustments can be made, but the final color is not confirmed until after grinding. Due to the extremely fine nature of pigments, this phase requires strict safety measures. The powder can remain suspended in the air and may be harmful if inhaled. Therefore, operators use filter masks, protective gloves, and suitable clothing to avoid prolonged contact with oils and potentially irritating substances. Once the initial paste is formed, it moves on to grinding, one of the most decisive stages of the entire process. In professional production, 3-roll mills made of metal, ceramic or granite are used. These rollers rotate in opposite directions and with separations adjusted with extreme precision, in some cases only a few micrometers apart. As the paste passes through this pressure zone, any remaining agglomerates are broken down and the pigment is uniformly dispersed within the oil. On the surface of the rollers, the paint spreads into a very thin and glossy film, a sign that the internal structure has moved from an irregular mixture to a continuous and stable state. At this point, the color begins to show its true depth, becoming more intense, cleaner, and visually richer. The separation between the rollers is not fixed. It is adjusted according to the type of pigment, since harder pigments require greater pressure, while heat-sensitive ones need a gentler treatment to avoid altering their chromatic structure. For this reason, grinding requires constant supervision by specialized technicians and cannot be fully automated. The same batch usually passes through the mill between 2 and 5 times. After each pass, the paint is collected with metal spatulas and its gloss, smoothness, and stretching behavior are evaluated visually. If it still feels grainy or lacks uniformity, it is ground again until the required standard is reached. When the paint has been properly ground, it enters the quality control phase. The fineness of the particles is verified using glass plates or specific instruments. Even a small amount of out-of-spec particles may require repeating the grinding process. Viscosity is also evaluated, since it determines how the paint flows on the brush and how it covers the surface. If necessary, adjustments are made by adding small amounts of oil or correcting the formula. The color is compared under controlled lighting with reference samples to ensure consistency between batches. In addition, the paint is applied to test surfaces to evaluate coverage, gloss, and overall behavior. Only when it passes all these tests is it authorized for packaging. At the same time, aluminum tubes are manufactured. This material is chosen because it is lightweight, resistant, corrosion-proof, and above all highly effective at preventing air entry, something essential because oil paint dries through oxidation. Aluminum sheets are shaped into tubes, the threaded neck is formed, and the base is sealed. A protective coating is applied inside to prevent chemical reactions during storage. Once the tubes have passed leak tests and it is confirmed that they have no microcracks or defects in the joints, they are moved to the filling area, one of the most delicate stages of the process. At this point, the oil paint has already passed all quality controls and is ready to become a commercial product. Due to its high viscosity and sensitivity to air contact, filling must be carried out slowly, precisely, and under complete control. The paint is introduced into the tubes through piston systems or low-pressure pumps, specifically designed to move dense materials without generating turbulence. The goal is for the paint to flow continuously and uniformly, avoiding the formation of bubbles or air pockets inside. The filling speed is carefully adjusted, since a process that is too fast could trap air, affect product stability during storage, or cause irregularities when the user squeezes the tube. Each tube is checked individually. After filling, the weight is verified to ensure that the content corresponds exactly to the quantity specified by the manufacturer. This measurement guarantees uniformity between units and ensures that all tubes of the same color and series offer the same volume of paint. If any deviation is detected, the tube is adjusted or removed from the process. Once correct filling is confirmed, the lower sealing phase begins. The open base of the tube is inserted into a crimping machine that folds the aluminum following a standardized pattern. These folds, usually double or triple, create a firm and completely airtight closure, essential to prevent oxygen from entering. In some production lines, before crimping, a slight operation is carried out to displace any remaining air toward the opening, ensuring that the interior is occupied almost entirely by paint. After sealing, the closure is inspected visually and mechanically to confirm that it is uniform, flat, and without gaps. At this stage, the batch code, production date, or other traceability data are usually printed on the lower fold. This information allows the exact origin of the product to be identified and is essential for quality control and long-term tracking. There is also a variant known as oil sticks or oil bars. In essence, they are oil paint, but with a modified formula that incorporates natural waxes, such as beeswax, to achieve a solid consistency. The process is similar, with the difference that after grinding, the wax is added, mixed until a semi-solid mass is obtained, and molded into bar shapes. These allow drawing and painting directly on the surface, while maintaining all the properties of traditional oil paint. Thus, what appears to be a simple mixture of oil and color is actually the result of a long and meticulous process, where each stage demands absolute precision. From pigment selection to final packaging, every decision influences the quality, durability, and behavior of the paint. That invisible journey is what allows a work of art, centuries later, to continue conveying the same visual strength it had on the day it was created.